Both of you gentlemen are charged with racing on a highway. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, gentlemen.
Would you like to start with, Judge?
I guess Lopez.
Lopez? Yes, Judge. On December 22nd, officers conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle at the 17,000 block of Gulf Freeway. The officers were acting in an undercover capacity as they were conducting surveillance on a car group known to conduct illegal street races. The officer observed 3 motor vehicles begin to slow down, match speed, and pace. The 3 motor vehicles slowed down to approximately 50 miles per hour before accelerating to speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour in a competitive manner.
Hold up, 100 miles per hour in traffic? These guys weren't just racing, they were auditioning for Fast and Furious, Houston Drift. But here's the scary part, Texas treats street racing as reckless endangerment. That competitive acceleration detail? That's the prosecutor's golden ticket. And let's not ignore the handgun on the floorboard. Lopez just turned a traffic ticket into a potential felony. Smooth move.
The defendant was a driver and sole occupant of one of the motor vehicles. The defendant was in possession of a 19mm handgun, which is located on the floorboard of the driver's seat at the time of the stop, and the co-defendant, who was driving one of the other motor vehicles, was also taken into custody.
Who's the co-defendant in that?
The co-defendant is a Jabari McCall. Let me see if he's in our.
He was driving one of the other motor vehicles.
In his case is in court 15, Your Honor.
That's in court 15. What is the cause number on that one?
Cause number is 254-4343.
So these need to go to 15.
Correct. That one goes to 15. Right.
These will go to 15.
Well, Mr. Lopez, let's talk about Mr. Ruiz.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Lopez, I am going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Does he have a Texas driver license?
Let me see, Judge. It's eligible, Your Honor.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you now, if I find that you do this again, I will, number one, take your ability to drive away from you until this case is over with. And I'm going to tell you, living in a city as big as Houston without the ability to drive blows. It's awful. Trust me. If I find that this happens again, likewise, I will put you in jail and make your bond sky high. 610, 59, no place for racing. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Not only that, the Texas legislature has made it extremely easy for DAs across the country to take seized cars from individuals who participate in these types of acts. 2 weeks ago, we had someone here who had their $100,000 car seized by the district attorney's office for participating in this act. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Ruiz.
On December 20th, 2024, the officer was part of a traffic crimes task force and was near the location where a large group was meeting at Alameda Mall in Harris County, Texas. The officer began following the racing group going southbound and observed the defendant and co-defendant's motor vehicles traveling in lanes 1 and 2 side by side, saw the 2 vehicles slow down to approximately 40 miles per hour, and then launch an acceleration at the same time in a competitive nature in order to outdistance each other at speeds of upwards of 110 to 120 miles per hour. A traffic stop was initiated and the officer made contact with the defendant.
Mr. Ruiz, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case as well. Tell me, does he have a co-defendant in this case as well?
Yes, Your Honor, and I'm pulling up the co-defendant's case.
It's in court 7.
Court 7, Your Honor.
Okay. What's the cause number?
The cause number is 254-4176.
Okay, so this one stays here. Mr. Ruiz, at 120 miles an hour, I am now taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive whatsoever. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You will be signing an affidavit with me, promising me that you're not going to drive, and I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. I don't care if there's a burning building and 50 children need to be saving. You get into a car and drive. I can have a contempt hearing, and you can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Until I know that he absolutely appreciates the privilege, the awesome privilege it is to drive. You are not allowed to drive for any reason. Come back, show me some proactivity, show me the appreciation, and then if you come back in 2 weeks, it's just not enough time. But I want to see, something that shows me that you appreciate it. But for now, if I find that you drive, I'm gonna light you up like a Christmas tree. Do you understand?
Your Honor.
Both of you have lawyers, so we will waive your appearances, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Clay, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he comes back to me, tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, then I will revoke your bond. Neither of you will get a PR bond if you become a danger to my community, pick up new cases. Are you both United States citizens?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Clay, they go with you, sir.
Judge, after the, I'm putting the transfer order for Mr. Lopez.
Okay. Mr. Glover, you're charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. You're on bond for a burglar of a motor vehicle, and now you've picked up a new case.
That case,
Stop. You were on bond for a burglar of a motor vehicle, and now you've picked up an assault of a family member. You're now facing a year on that one as well. We're going to do probable cause on both of your cases. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Yes, Judge. On the burglary, the officers were dispatched to a burglary call at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The complainant told the officers that items were missing from his work truck, which was parked in front of his house. The complainant had cameras inside and around the truck, which captured the defendant's face. The officers received a tip from Grizzy identifying the defendant and were able to confirm the defendant's identity by viewing the captured surveillance.
Bless Gizzies. Hood news. You guys familiar with the hood news? Good stuff. So say it again. What happened?
For the burglary?
No, the assault.
So on the assault case, the complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship. And on December 20th, 2024, the officers were on patrol at Katy Freeway Service Road and observed the defendant and the complainant. The officer observed the defendant dragging the complainant by her hair towards the sidewalk. After the defendant saw the officer, he let go of the complainant and both began to walk towards the patrol vehicle. The officer detained the defendant and spoke with the complainant. The complainant stated she and the defendant were in an argument and the defendant was following her to get inside his car because she was walking in the road. The complainant did not have visible injuries, but stated she bit her lip and caused it to bleed. The complainant stated she did not feel pain from having her hair pulled. The complainant stated she felt 3 out of 10 pain.
Mr. Glover, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on your assault case. Tell me about the BMV, please.
On the BMV? So that was the one where they were dispatched to a residence in regard to a BMV call, and the complainant had cameras inside and around the truck, which captured the defendant's face, and he told the officers that items were missing from his work truck, which was parked in front of his house.
So they got him on camera with the home camera.
Yes, Judge.
Was he on bond for our burglary case and then picked up the new case? Do you guys?
Yes, Judge, Smith seems right now.
Did we do conditions and everything?
So it looks like there were conditions on the 15th of December and the new case was on the 20th of December.
So we had him, we put conditions on him.
Looks like there were conditions.
Looks like that's a nice thing, Judge.
Judge, he may have been arraigned by the magistrate. I don't know if he ever came before.
Mr. Glover, let me make something extremely clear to you. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. I don't care who you are, what color you are. If you're a small farm animal, I'm going to protect my city at all costs. You endanger my city, I'm going to light you up so fast you're going to have teeth falling out. Do you understand? You are not to have contact with the complainant in this case at all whatsoever. And I'm now sending you for a drug test because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system, and you're to come right back. If you fail to go take the drug test, if you fail to come back, I will revoke both of your bonds and make them sky high. As it stands now, you were given 2 PR bonds in these cases. You pick up a third case. Holy moly. Do you catch my drift?
Yes, sir.
Francis, let's send him right now. You were to come right back. And Francis, I'm going to put a GPS monitor on him on one ankle, and we're going to give him a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Ma'am, you.
Wait, she's a correctional officer arguing with a repo man? The irony is thicker than Texas toast. But legally? She's cooked. Trespassing kicks in the second you ignore lawful removal demands, and those surveillance tapes are Exhibit A. Pro tip, if your car's GPS got yanked, maybe don't break into the impound lot to prove a point. Judge ain't buying the Hispanic male let me in fairy tale.
Charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. On December 21st, 2024, officers were dispatched to a tracked motor vehicle at a tow lot in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the defendant, who stated her car was stolen that morning from her job, the prison in Huntsville, and that no way her car was repossessed because she paid her bills, and that she was not exiting the motor vehicle, and the complainant needed to open the gate so she could leave. The defendant stated she was not trespassing because her motor vehicle was in the tow lot, she did not care about going to jail, and she was not leaving. The defendant further stated to call the DA. The defendant refused to exit the motor vehicle and the lot. The officer made contact with the complainant, the owner of the lot, who stated he had been looking for the defendant to repossess her vehicle. The complainant stated he wanted the defendant out of the tow lot. The defendant took the GPS out of the vehicle, and the vehicle was repossessed from Huntsville. The complainant further stated the defendant was past due on payments. The complainant stated he has proof of everything, including his possession request, and did not know how the defendant got into the tow lot as no one opened the gate for the defendant. The officer observed the defendant sitting in the repossessed vehicle, and the defendant stated she did not know how she got in, and the gate was observed to be locked. The defendant told another officer that a Hispanic male allowed her into the lot, but the defendant could not confirm whether a male was, and the complainant stated no Hispanic male opened the lot for the defendant. The officer asked the defendant multiple times to exit the motor vehicle and the lot, to which the defendant refused.
That's yes, sir. That's not true.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yes, sir.
Exercise that right. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Everything that you say, they're going to sit there, type it, and they're going to use it to prove guilt.
Yes, sir.
You will get the opportunity to, fight the case.
Yes, sir.
Now's not the time.
Okay.
Bottom line is you need a lawyer to represent you in this case, right? Do you work?
I work as a correctional officer, sir. I actually help with INS cases and sending ICE defendants out.
How much money do you make a How much money do you make a month?
Probably without taxes being taken out. Probably like 4,000.
We're going to give you time to hire a lawyer. Okay, so what I'll have you do,
I'm actually off work right now. I can't work because of this case.
what,
I
hap-
work for the state.
what does that mean?
That means that I can't go back to work. I'm not able to go back to work because of this case.
Did you get suspended?
Well, just depending on what happened today at court, you're not supposed to go to jail or do anything, being what type of job I have.
Did they tell you that not to come back?
Yes, I cannot come back until they figure out what's going on with my case.
Okay.
So this is how,
You want to apply for an appointed lawyer, man?
yes, sir.
Okay. Let me see if I have one on file.
No, Judge.
No? Okay, so Ms. Arrington, I'll give you an application. I need to take a look at it. And then if you qualify, I'll appoint your lawyer today. Understand things don't just work overnight. It takes time to get evidence, takes time for stuff to come in. They have to contact the other people. So it may take some time. It's not just Rome wasn't built overnight, as the saying goes. So just be patient, and everything will work out. Okay. Of course. So I'll have you sign, I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona. We'll give you an application. Take a seat in the juror box, fill it out, and I'll take a look. Well, thank you, Ms. Arrington. Ms. Cerritos, you're charged with failure to stop and give information, which is leaving the scene of an accident without exchanging information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On December 20th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a major accident at 6623 Gulf Freeway in Harris County, Texas. The officer learned there were two separate accidents, first at 9301 Gulf Freeway and second at 6623 Gulf Freeway. The complainant stated he was driving his motor vehicle, was stopped at a red light. and the defendant failed to control speed before rear-ending the complainant's motor vehicle. The complainant heard the defendant's tires screeching, and the defendant drove off at a high rate of speed. The complainant followed and chased the defendant's vehicle as the defendant entered and exited the freeway, attempting to get away. The complainant followed the defendant approximately 5 miles, and the defendant lost control and crashed into a home. The damage to the complainant's vehicle was $2,000.
Time of day or night was this? Was middle of the night? Any kind of alcohol?
This was appears at midnight, and there's no allegations of alcohol.
It was midday.
License? Stop.
I apologize. It was at lunchtime, 12:29 p.m.
Yeah, okay. Any, a license?
License, Your Honor. It appears the Florida driver's license that's valid.
Have liability insurance in your name, car insurance.
I was driving my mom's car.
I don't care if you were driving Santa's sleigh,
I don't.
then you're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond. Until you have liability insurance in your name, do not drive. Do you understand? I'm making it a condition of your bond. Until you show us that you have liability insurance, then I'll take this off. But until that point, don't drive. It is a condition of your bond. You violate this condition, I may very well revoke your bond and put you in jail. No more PR bonds. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. Do you understand, Ms. Cerritos? The important thing about insurance, man, is that when you get into an accident, people will tend to come after you. We live in a very litigious society and everybody wants money. When you have car insurance, if you're involved in an accident, the insurance company will protect you and even have lawyers on their side to help you in the event someone tries to come after you. It's not expensive, but it's something that's required by law, and all we want you to do here is follow the law. It's really important. You know, you get into an accident where you create $50,000 worth of damage, someone's got to pay for it. It's got to come out of somewhere. You understand? That's why I'm asking you only to follow the law. Do not drive unless you have a valid driver's license and liability insurance in your name. I don't care what car you're driving. I don't care what it is, motorcycle, whatever it may be. Do you understand? All right. Tell me what you do for a living, man.
I'm a registered behavior technician. I work with children that have autism.
And what kind of income do you make a month?
I make $25 an hour, but I haven't been able to work just due to the car not being drivable. So I haven't worked this week, and I probably won't work for a couple weeks.
How are you supporting yourself then?
I'm currently living with extended family. We just relocated from Florida.
Okay. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you mind giving an application, please? All right. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive until you get approval and have liability insurance. I'll have you fill out the application for an appointed lawyer. I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. All right. Please. Mr. Suarez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. And ma'am, Ms. Silva, you're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. And we're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am. Okay, let's start with Suarez.
Yes, Judge. On December 20th, 2024, at approximately 4:38 a.m., the officer was dispatched to a stranded vehicle at the 11700 block of South Sam Houston Tollway. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant to be asleep behind the wheel of the car with gear shift in drive position and foot on the brake. There was an open container half filled with an alcoholic beverage, and the officer observed the defendant with glassy eyes and unsteady balance. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, 6 out of 6 on the HGN, 2 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 3 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.142 and 0.145.
Mr. Suarez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I would hope that you would recognize it's elementary that you're not supposed to have alcohol in the car while you are driving. It is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence that you get when they allege that you have alcohol in the car. I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail, immigration will find you, they will put a detainer on you. Do you understand? I'm putting conditions on your bond. You violate these conditions, I will put you in jail so fast your head will be spinning 100 miles an hour. Do not consume alcohol, do not use illegal drugs, and do not drive. Do you understand? If you violate these conditions, I will put you in jail and I'm going to make your bond high. The reason you got out of jail quick because we gave you a PR bond. No more if you become a danger to my community. You understand? I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'm going to get you to Ramona. We are going to give you a reset to give you time to hire a lawyer. After that, you will get with Francis for your bond conditions. Don't consume alcohol, and above all else, do not drive. Do you understand? Heed this warning. You will not get another. Are you signing on to Ms. Silva?
Yes, Mr. Ralph Martinez is signing.
Great, okay.
He's putting on his tie. He's
Sorry?
putting on his tie outside, Ralph Martinez.
Okay. You want me to wait?
No, just want to let you know you're on.
Okay. We're about to do probable cause now, so you made it right in the nick of time. Okay, you ready?
Yes, Judge. On December 19th, 2024, the officer was working in an undercover capacity as part of proactive vice investigation at Chicas Locas. While inside the club, the officer engaged in a conversation with the defendant. The defendant then gave the officer table dances and agreed to engage in deviant sexual intercourse or oral sex in exchange for a fee of $500 with a condom.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I am ordering you not to engage in like-kind behavior, not to participate in this kind of environment. Do you understand? If I find that you do, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds, ma'am. All I'm asking you to do is don't work in these types of establishment and don't pick up a new case. You've got great lawyers. They will take care of you. You need to listen to them and they will tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games and you've flown, then I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You understand, man? Okay. I'm going to have you just sign a reset with Ramona right now. After that, we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. So we'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And after that, you'll be free to go, man. Hi, Ralph.
Judge, how you doing, Judge?
All I did was just no engaging in like-kind behavior, and then that's it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah? Okay, guys, please.
Thank you.
Mr. Martinez,
Can you file that, please?
Yes, Judge.
Are you working with Ms. Turner?
I'm covering for her. I drew the short straw this week. Everybody
That's
else is
okay.
gone.
Not a problem. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Mr. Vasquez, you were charged with discharging a firearm in a metropolitan area. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 20th, 2024, the officers were conducting surveillance on several vehicles engaged in a parking lot takeover while in an undercover capacity. The officers observed the defendant, who was the passenger in a vehicle that was driving alongside them, roll down the window, stick his hand out with a handgun, and discharge it into the air. The officers advised that they saw the defendant discharge the weapon a total of 6 times. After detaining the defendant, the officers located the firearm under the passenger seat where he was sitting.
Mr. Vasquez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of any weapons, not to use any weapons, not to fire any weapons. Do you understand? If I find that you do, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. What goes up must come down. What happens if it lands on someone's head and kills them? Who gets charged with murder? Think about it. Think before you act. Think before you speak, because you dig yourself into a big hole, your ass ain't getting out. Do you understand? If I find you with a weapon or you pick up a new case, all bets off. Do you mind filing those conditions, please?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Vasquez, you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with counsel. If they tell me that you play games, that you're not responding to phone calls or text messages, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You pick up a new case or become a danger to my community, I'm gonna light you up. Do you understand? Okay, guys, I'm gonna have you sign a reset with Ramona. After that, I'm gonna have you take a seat in the jury box. I will get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. After that, you'll be free to go. Thank you, sir. Sir, you were charged with keeping a gambling place. You were facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On September 19, 2024, Regulatory Enforcement Unit received a tip about illegal activity inside No Name Game Room in Harris County, Texas, namely gambling. Officers initiated an investigation on the same day and was assigned in an undercover capacity. The officer walked into the game room, was able to get a membership with help from a confidential informant, inserted $20 in an amusement redemption machine, then won $22 on a $1 bet, bringing his credit to $34.50. The machine allowed the officer to win more than 10 times the amount of his $1 bet, making it an altered video gambling device. On December 17, 2024, the officer entered in an undercover capacity, walked to an amusement redemption machine, inserted vice funds, and observed 3 violations. $30.50 win on a $1 bet, $29 win on a $1 bet, and $57.92 win on a $1 bet. The officer observed the defendant emptying out proceeds from the machines and servicing them. The defendant stated he could cash out the officer's winnings and asked the female to bring out the cash. On December 19, 2024, the officer executed a search warrant and found the defendant once again in care, custody, and control of the game room with a large amount of money in his pockets and device keys. The defendant admitted to being the manager of the game room.
All right. Mr. Manoja, I'm going to find that there's. Are you still working there? Is he no longer employed there? They shut it down? Okay. So don't engage in like-kind business and then you'll be fine with us. Just don't run any type of establishment like this. That's the only condition we're going to put on your bond. Do you understand? You have a lawyer. Sarah will take care of you. I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but just stay in touch with Sarah and she'll take care of you. I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona. While you take a seat, get your bond condition, we'll sign it, and then you'll be free to go. Okay? Thanks, guys. Please. So if you can file.
No like behavior.
Right.
Yes, Judge.
No gambling.
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Thomas, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 21st, 2024, at approximately 1:30 a.m., the officers were dispatched in reference to a one-vehicle collision. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle with major rear end damage and debris all over the vehicle from having collided into an apartment complex. Upon contact with the defendant, both officers and a witness observed the defendant with slurred speech, strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and red, bloodshot eyes. The officer also observed the defendant to be disoriented and stumbling. While on scene, the defendant became physically combative, belligerent, and aggressive with the officers and attempted to kick the passenger door and headbutt the officer. During the altercation, the defendant grabbed the officer's right forearm and scratched him, breaking skin and causing him to bleed and feel pain. The officers made contact with the defendant's front passenger, his wife, who advised they were coming from a party where the defendant drank. And as the defendant was reversing his vehicle, he crashed into 2 garages and then fled the scene to continue looking for parking. The officers did not request standard field sobriety tests since the defendant was being combative and for officer safety. A blood warrant was signed and executed.
You look to see if he has any prior DWIs, please. Mr. Thomas. And then license.
Eligible, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using illegal drugs or alcohol, put you in jail, no more PR bonds for you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you don't have Texas, or if you don't have liability insurance in your name, then you're also not allowed to drive, and that's a bond condition of yours as well. Do you understand?
Sir.
You have a lawyer. They will take care of you. It's your responsibility to stay in touch with them. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you, likewise, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Don't become a danger to my son, to my city. Otherwise, I only have one place for you. Do you understand? All right. I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona. You'll get with Francis for your bond conditions, and then you guys free to go.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Please.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Please.
On May 14, 2024, the officer responded to a resident in Harris County, Texas, in reference to a terroristic threat. The officer made contact with the complainant, who stated the defendant, the wife's uncle, threatened to return to the residence with a shotgun to shoot him, and that he would shove the complainant's pistol up the complainant's ass, and that he would return with a cartel so they could take care of it. The complainant stated he believed the threats to be imminent and he feared for his life.
How did you get appointed so early?
He made a request for appointing counsel when he was in jail in Montgomery County.
Okay, so he was,
And y'all appointed me, and then he got transferred here and
got it.
received his bond conditions and general order bond last week.
All right, Mr. Rod, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm putting 2 conditions on your bond now. Not to be in possession of any weapons and not to have contact with the complaining witness in this case.
Yes, sir.
How long did you spend in jail, sir?
I was there the 14th all the way up to the time they transferred me here, and I believe I was released on the 20th.
How pleasant was your stay in custody?
It was not pleasant at all, Your Honor.
Then all I'm asking you to do are 2 things, and as long as you can do that, you and I will be best friends. Otherwise, it's not going to go well. I don't want to have to put you in, so just, that's all,
I
okay?
understand, Your Honor.
Got a great lawyer, Carl. He'll take care of you. Just make sure you stay in contact with him and all will go well.
Yes, sir.
If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, you're off the radar, I will issue a warrant for your arrest, okay? Just stay in contact, follow the conditions, and that's it,
Yes, sir.
okay? All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We need him to sign conditions here, and then after that, he's free to go.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Thank you.
He signed conditions already. I think they're pretty much the same as what you just said. And he also has a MOAB in addition to the bond conditions, which have no contact with the defendant, no weapons.
They were signed by the magistrate on the 20th, Judge.
I don't know how they put the MOAB on.
He's got a copy of the MOAB.
And it's not a family member. There's no allegation of a family member, so they can't put the MOAB on.
Yeah. It's the
You know?
bond condition covered anyway.
But just so you guys know, I mean, there's no allegation of a family member in the information
Okay.
or in the 2B.
I believe it's
It's
the,
the wife's uncle.
right, the
Yeah.
complainant's wife's uncle.
Yeah.
But we can look at
It
this.
says, it only says, did then and there unlawfully threaten to commit an offense involving violence as opposed to like family violence or upon a family member. And so that's why just no contact and you'll be fine. Okay.
Not a problem.
Nobody-
All right.
nobody called for judgment.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I see it. All
Thank you,
right.
Judge.
We got you.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care, sir.
You want to leave the warrant?
No, I mean, there's no,
You want to withdraw?
hey, what do you guys say? I mean, I don't know if we can technically have it, you know? Because normally you would have either terroristic threat of a family member or there has to be some allegation of,
And then file the MOAB.
I mean, that's a
Or we
different
can
thing. If you do that,
Weapon just do
then
the
we
bond
can, you know?
conditions. Yeah.
I guess you guys think about what.
Are you okay if we just maybe step out and call the complainant really quickly and see if we can get in touch with them? And then we
Yeah.
can kind of decide.
Yeah, and the young,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Young, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, man.
Yes, Judge. On December 21st, 2024, the officers were dispatched to a disturbance call at 11:03 p.m. in regard to an intoxicated female who had become violent. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the complainant, a supervisor for Acadian Ambulance, who stated that he observed the defendant throw a rock into the windshield of a Chevy pickup and then run off. The complainant advised that the defendant used to work for Acadian Ambulance and was no longer with the company. The complainant estimated the damages to be in the amount of $500. The officer observed the Chevy pickup truck with a broken windshield.
Got it. All right, Ms. Young, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. If I find that you're using alcohol, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? I'm also ordering you not to have contact with the complaining witness in this case, not to be in possession of any weapons as well. So Francis, this one, I need you, since we're monitoring her for alcohol and drugs, please. Okay. What do you do for a living, man?
I did work at a city ambulance, like you
You're
said.
working now?
At an interview yesterday, they said I would be hired on. I guess it depends on also the background check. They're okay with that.
My question is do you have income coming in?
I will be, hopefully.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. If you have any issues, just come back and tell us. For now, we'll give you time. So I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona. You'll get with Francis for your bond conditions, and then after that, you'll be free to go. Don't use alcohol. Don't pick up a new case, because otherwise I'm going to end up putting you in. Do you understand? Okay, ma'am, please. Mr. Jefferson, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and/or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 22nd, 2024, at approximately 3:30 a.m., the officers were dispatched to the 800 block on Louisiana Street in regard to a motor vehicle parked on the Metro light rail tracks. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant's vehicle on the tracks, with the defendant asleep behind the wheel of the vehicle.
On the tracks?
Yes, Judge.
Ugh.
The vehicle was turned on and in the parked position. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed slurred speech, glossy eyes, and an odor of an alcoholic beverage. Standard field sobriety tests were administered, 0 out of 4 on the one-leg stand, 0 out of 8 on the walk and turn. The defendant did not finish the test, and HGN was 6 out of 6. The DIC was read, and the defendant consented to breath. The results were .091 and .09.
He's on bond for an aggravated robbery.
Yes, Judge, that is correct. Out of the 174.
All right, can you tell me if he has any prior DWIs, please? And if he has a license?
And his license is eligible.
Mr. Jefferson, I'm now placing a restriction on you. I'm giving you a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I'm going to put an ankle monitor on you so I know where you are at all times. You're on bond for a very serious case. Now you've picked up a new case. It's very possible they revoke your bond on the felony case. Do you understand? I don't want you out in the middle of the night. If I find that you violate these conditions, I'm going to put you in custody. I'm going to protect my county at all cost. Do you understand? If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, your bond will be revoked. You will go into custody. And I'm telling you now, if I find that you're a public danger, I'm going to make it sky high. You missed court yesterday. So I don't want you to say anything. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that right. The only thing I'm telling you now is I will give you a pass because you missed yesterday. If you ever miss court again, this is not going to happen. Do you understand? I'm going to reinstate the bond now. Francis, do you need the cause number for this case?
I have it.
You have it? Okay. No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. And he now has a GPS monitor with a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You must charge this ankle monitor on a daily basis for at least an hour. If the battery goes dead, so does the bond. Do you understand?
Sure.
You can waive all the fees as well. All right, I'd like him to get it today as well. Francis, please. All right, Mr. Jefferson, what we're gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you go to Ramona, sign a reset, and then you're gonna get with Francis for your bond conditions. You're already in enough hot water as it is. All you're doing is you're adding fuel to the fire, man. Really, don't say anything. I'm just telling you how to behave in this life. There's certain ways to act, certain ways not to. Do you understand? Come on. You were charged with tampering with a government record. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 19th, 2024, the officers conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's motor vehicle at approximately 10:20 p.m. at the 400 block of Little York Road after NCIC search on Texas buyer's tag returned it to gray 2020 Ram pickup truck, even though the defendant was driving 2006 Mercury Montego. Upon contact with the defendant stated the motor vehicle belonged to him and his sister. The defendant advised he paid a guy $65 for the tag. Upon further inspecting the vehicle, the officers found the fictitious tag had the defendant's vehicle information on it, but the plate number came back to another motor vehicle. Inventory of the vehicle revealed another fictitious tag in the center console, and the defendant was also in possession of two fictitious documents affixed to the rear of the vehicle. The defendant made a comment that he knew one of the tags was fictitious.
Okay. Mr. Dominguez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance. If I find that you do and
Doesn't have a driver's license. Drive.
you do not have a Texas driver license, you are not allowed to drive. You will be signing a promise with me today that you're not going to drive. Mr. Dominguez, if I find that you do, I'm going to revoke your bond. I'm going to put you in jail. If you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck like Chuck in there until this case is over with. And then they're going to ship you off to immigration. This is the only warning that you will get from us. So take it as you will. Do you understand? You need a lawyer to represent you in this case, and we're going to give you time to go find one. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I will get you to Ramona, sign a reset. After that, we will get you time to go hire a lawyer, sir. Please. Mr. Perdomo Ramirez, you were charged with reckless driving. You are facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, sir. On December 21st, 2024, at approximately 5 p.m., the officer conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle after observing it travel over 90 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. The vehicle continuously cut across multiple lanes of traffic to maintain high speed and swerved in front of others, causing them to brake. The officer also observed the defendant's vehicle follow other vehicles too closely in an attempt to pass them. The officer followed behind for approximately 4 miles before initiating traffic stop. The defendant admitted to not having a license.
Mr. Perdomo Ramirez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. You do not have a Texas driver license. You are not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond. If I find that you do, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail, and if you're unlucky enough and you're not in this country with permission, they will put an immigration detainer on you, and you will wait until this case is over with in jail, and then they're going to ship you off to immigration. Do you understand?
You're going too fast. I didn't understand.
You are not in this, if you are not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you, they will put an immigration detainer on you and you will sit in custody for about 3 to 4 months waiting for this case to be over with. And then you're going to wait another couple months for immigration to take you, where you will sit for another 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do to you. Do you understand? I want you to understand what would happen to you if you go to jail. I'm ordering and I'm placing conditions on your bond now. If you violate these conditions, I'm going to put you in jail. This is the only warning that you're going to get from me. Do you understand? I'm ordering you not to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. If you do not have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you may not drive.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
You will be signing an affidavit. This is a promise to me you're going to make that you're not going to drive. I hope that you heed this warning and take it seriously. There will be no more. We will have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not going to drive. I will get you to Ramona where we will have you sign a reset and we will get you out of here. When you come back, you need a lawyer to represent you, sir. We're going to give you time for you to do that. Please. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 21st, 2024, the officer responded to a major crash at Interstate Highway 45 in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed 3 wrecked vehicles, including the defendant's vehicle. The officer discovered the defendant's vehicle was driving at a high rate of speed and struck the rear of another vehicle, which was pushed across another lane and subsequently struck another vehicle. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and the officer observed staggering, the defendant trying to sit on the ground due to poor balance, a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, and bloodshot glossy eyes. The wheel witness, the passenger of the defendant's vehicle, observed the defendant drink 3 40-ounce Smirnoffs and stated the defendant insisted that he drive as the big brother. The wheel witness stated the defendant did not stop at a red light at an intersection, hitting another vehicle. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 5 out of 8, one leg stand 2 out of 4. The defendant read the DIC and consented to breath. Those results of the breath test were 0.058 and 0.054. A DRE and blood sample were requested, to which the defendant consented. The DRE determined the defendant showed signs of being the influence of a narcotic, analgesic, and dissociative anesthetic.
Got it. Mr. Machado, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Have you prior to DWI's license?
No DWIs, Your Honor, and eligible license.
Mr. Machado, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have insurance with your name on it. Do you understand? If you're caught driving a vehicle and you don't have insurance on it, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, likewise, into jail you will go. No more PR bonds. If you don't have anyone to pony up $5,000 to $10,000 to get you out of custody, you'll be sitting in there until this case is over with. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
36.
What do you do for a living? Sorry?
Paint helper.
Okay. What kind of money you make?
Now 15 an hour.
Okay. And who do you live with? All right. We're going to give you time to hire a lawyer because you need a lawyer to represent you. Don't wait. There's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI, so don't sit and wait a month, 2 months because you're only hurting yourself. You understand? All right. I'm going to get you to Ramona's. We're going to have you sign a reset. Then you'll get with Francis for your bond conditions, and after that, you'll be free to go. Don't pick up a new case and don't use.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Racinos, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 20th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to Fondren Road to a meet the firefighter call. Upon arrival, the officer was advised by a Houston Fire Department medic that the defendant, who was the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle, was asleep behind the wheel of the vehicle while the vehicle was on and in drive and in the middle of the intersection. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed slurred speech, a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and swayed balance. The defendant denied drinking. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused. Blood search warrant was signed and executed. During the reading of the DIC, the defendant wet his pants for a second time.
Mr. Racinos, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. You're going to be randomly tested. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, you will go to jail.
Eligible license and no priors.
Got it. If you don't have liability insurance in your name, you're not allowed to drive any vehicle. Do you understand? And that is also a condition of your bond. We're going to give you time to hire a lawyer, so I'll have you sign a receipt with Ramona. After that, you'll get with Francis for your bond conditions, and then you'll be free to go. Don't pick up any new cases. Do you understand? Okay. Come on. Mr. Secretary, you are charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. All right.
On December 21st, 2024, officers were dispatched to a firefighter call for a person down at approximately 1:24 a.m. Houston firefighter advised the officer that he observed the defendant to be asleep behind the wheel of his vehicle despite attempts to wake the defendant with their horn. When the officer arrived on scene, he observed the defendant inside his vehicle while the vehicle was on and in park at the 4300 block of Bylock Road, and the defendant admitted to drinking about 8 drinks and stated he had just left the sports bar. The officer observed the defendant to have glassy eyes, poor balance, and an odor of an alcoholic beverage. Standard filtered rider tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, one leg stand 2 out of 4. While inventory of the vehicle, the officer located one open 12-ounce Coors Light can in the center cup holder, which was 1/4 full and cold.
Drinking while driving?
Yes, Judge. And the defendant, and the DIC was read, and the defendant consented to breath. The results were .087 and .08.
Mr. Secretary, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm now taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive whatever for any reason. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive, and I don't care what is going on in your life. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. I don't care what your reason is. There's no justification you can give for getting in a car and driving. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is a court order. This is an affidavit and promise you're making to me now that you're not going to drive. Heed this warning. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, likewise, you will go to jail. No more PR bonds. We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer, so I'll have you swear to this. We'll get you to Ramona with your reset, and then Francis for your bond conditions. Okay, who do we have here?
This is Christopher Gomez on page 9, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, Mr. Gomez.
Good morning, Judge.
All right. So with us, you were on bond for a felony less than a gram case from October. In December, you pick up a weed case, and now you've picked up another weed case. You are now charged with possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 20th, 2024, the officer observed the defendant's vehicle, a silver BMW, bearing the wrong license plate. The officer conducted a search and learned the license plate was registered to a Hyundai 4-door with the expired registration of December 2022. The traffic stop was conducted, and the officer observed the driver throw a brown object out of the driver's side window and land on the road. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and sole occupant, and observed a strong odor of marijuana and a green leafy substance residue on the front of the defendant's shirt, known to be marijuana based on training and experience. The defendant stated he removed plates from his mother's motor vehicle due to not properly registering his motor vehicle. The officer walked back to where the defendant threw the brown bag and located a large cigar containing marijuana. The weight of the marijuana was 2.
Gomez just got nuked on live docket. Picked up 2 new cases while on bond? That's like juggling chainsaws over a pit of warrants. Judge revoked his bond mid-hearing, no warning asterisk, no do-overs. Lesson? Bond conditions aren't suggestions. Now he's stuck in custody with a felony detainer. play stupid games, win a 6x8 concrete suite.
5 grams.
I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case, Mr. Gomez. My question to you, what condition did we place on you before? We put a no driving affidavit on your prior case. I'm now revoking the bond on that case, and I'm going to raise it up. I'm now finding this bond wholly insufficient, as well as you refuse to comply with bond conditions set with this court, and I'm finding that by clear and convincing evidence. As a result, I'm finding this bond wholly insufficient as well. We are now taking you into custody because of a felony warrant, but I'm now revoking the bond on your first case as well. Goes with you.